Hey guys, how's it going? I'm going to give a little bit of a demonstration today on the Tethrd Mantis and what I think of that, and also a review. I got to use the Tethrd Mantis saddle a few weeks ago in Georgia to harvest a nice little buck, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about that experience and how that went as well. But mainly I'm going to give a demonstration on how to put it on and how to climb a tree. Stay tuned. First I'm going to do a little bit of shooting. I leave for Texas in only 4 days, so I'm gonna sling some arrows down at my Glendale target and just make sure I'm feeling good and my bow's shooting good. So I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks. .4. Not bad for 55 yards. All right, so I'm gonna quickly go through everything that is part of the setup for the Tethrd Mantis. So first and foremost, this is how I'm climbing the tree. These are the Wild Edge step ladders. It's a step ladder system. Second, knee pads. I highly recommend you get a set of knee pads. So the next thing is the tree tether. This is what's actually going to tether you to the tree itself, and this is the saddle itself. So like I said, it's the Tethrd Mantis. The reason I bought this saddle is because honestly I just saw a lot of people using this one, and I saw that it had a lot of really good reviews. I'll go ahead and put it on and then kind of show you how to do that, and then what each thing is. So this part right here is the bridge for your saddle, and when you put this on, you're going to want to step on the inside of that. So just like so, inside of the bridge, go ahead and pull it up to your waist. Here is your belt buckle. I like to do it above my own belt. Clip it in, just like a seat belt in your car. So the next thing is the groin straps. Pull those up, again, inside of the bridge. And when I put these on, I like to make sure that the hook, I don't know if you can see that, so the hook is facing outboard of my body. Clip it into that little loop right there, and it's good. Clip it into that loop there, and it's on. So now I'm going to show you what I have these little buckles on here for. Okay, so this right here is basically a homemade recliner or backrest for the saddle, and I'm going to show you how this works in a second. The saddle itself, I have these buckles that are tied in with a prusik knot onto the bridge. So this literally just clips into the buckle that's on the bridge of my saddle and clips into the other buckle. That way when I'm in the tree, I can tighten this down and basically lean into it. Oh, one last thing. I want to explain what this is. What this is a tactical dump pouch. It's used by the military, law enforcement. I figured that this would be a perfect system for keeping my lineman's belt in. My lineman's belt is just looped into the hip loop on the saddle itself, and then the rest of it is fed into this pouch. Again, knee pads, very important thing to have in your setup, and you'll see why here in a second. So I'll take the lineman's belt, pull it out of my pouch, and take my tether, stick it in the pouch. The reason I'm going to do that is because as I start to climb, I'm going to be using this the entire time. So I don't want to forget my tree tether on the ground or anything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it in my pouch so that I have it ready to go whenever I get to my hunting height. Let's talk about these tree steps. First of all, I actually like to have a couple screw-in steps with me, and I'll keep those in my pouch as well. The reason I like to do that is because when you purchase these tree steps, it comes with 10. So if you stack them every 2 feet, that might get you 20 feet in the air. But if you have a couple screw-in steps, that you put on the bottom the first, you know, 3-4 steps, and then you start using these, that can get you a whole extra 5 feet. If you're starting off with this, I would do it right at about waist level. So right about there, right about waist level, and that's going to be a good starting point for your first step. Now, how these actually go on is, you see how it's kind of shaped like a U, and it's got the open side and the pointed side. And what you want to do is put the open side flat against the tree like so. And then this, you want to make sure this is on the inside of this little hook. So on the inside of the hook, all you're going to do is wrap it around the tree. All right. You want it to be pretty tight, but not too tight. You want to be able to get about 2 fingers in there. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull it up and then cinch it down, just like that. So I pull my next step out, and here's where you're going to see these knee pads come in handy. Up and then cinch it down. Okay, now like I said, for time purposes, I'm not going to climb the entire tree, but what I am going to do is go ahead and hook up with my my tree tether, and kind of show you what it's like to actually hang from the saddle and what you're going to look like while you're hunting. With your lineman belt, once you finish climbing, you're going to detach your lineman belt after you hook up to your tree tether, and then stuff the lineman belt back into your pouch. So you get that cinched down in the tree, and you clip it onto that bridge that I was talking about earlier, and you can adjust this just like the lineman belt with that prusik knot. I like to position the tether at about head level. This is another important thing to note with the tether, is you want the loop that's being cinched down to be not too far out, because then you'll start swinging a little bit. I'm left-handed, so I'm gonna have my bow on my right side. Obviously, if you're right-handed, you want your bow on your left. And that way you can just reach up and grab it. But now what I want to show you is all the different angles that you can shoot from. I mean, just like with a normal tree stand, you want to position it so that your dominant side is facing towards your target area. So just like this, you know, if I have deer coming out in front of me like this, I can just draw back and shoot very easily, very comfortably like this. And I'm actually very stable. Leaning into the saddle like this gives me a very stable platform, but I can also spin around like this and take a shot at an extreme angle like that. Or I can even come around here and look at that. I have all this range of motion. Your range of motion is actually pretty impressive.
Alright guys, so I wanted to come on home and finish up this video by talking about the experience that I had with it and the pros and cons of the saddle. So the first pro is that it's extremely lightweight. The whole saddle weighs not even a couple pounds. It's very, very light and easy to use. So the second pro is that it's really versatile. So any tree that you can get a climbing stick or climbing step or any kind of screw and step into or around, you're going to be able to hunt out of. And that's one of the things that I love about it. You don't have to worry about, you know, getting a climber up a perfectly straight tree with no limbs or branches. And you don't have to worry about, you know, trying to find a good flat or a good straight up and down portion of the tree to hang a hang-on stand from. So that part I really like about that. And the other pro is that it's actually really comfortable. I know a lot of people are concerned with that when they first see the saddle or they first hear somebody talk about it. They think that it's not going to be comfortable at all, but that's not the case. I was very comfortable using it on my hunt in Georgia. You know, and I was sitting for 3 hours, 3.5 hours plus. And I really do think that I could do an all-day sit in this thing. I really think that it's that comfortable. You just got to make sure that you have a good base to stand on. So what I like to do is take 2 of the wild edge steps and put them side by side, and that gives you a little bit more of a platform to stand on versus just trying to get both feet on one. The negative things about the saddle, honestly, to me, the only negative experience I had was actually not the saddle itself, but the Wild Edge steps. And I'm not bashing that product. I think I'm just taking a little bit longer to get used to using those than I am the actual saddle itself. Mainly because the steps, the way that you tie them in, it can get a little bit frustrating sometimes. I know if you don't have it just tight enough or just loose enough, the step will kind of like to pop up on you as you're climbing, or even worse, if you put your weight on it, it'll kind of slide down a little bit. Thankfully, I've never had one actually give while I'm climbing, so they do stay attached to the tree, but you just got to make sure that you tie them just right so that it actually stays cinched down the way that it's meant to. So anyways, I really hope that you guys learned a thing or two from the video, and give it a try. Give the saddle a try. I think it's really worth the money, and it's a good experience. And if you're like me and you don't own property, you are used to hunting public ground, or maybe a lease, or maybe you have permission to hunt a farm like myself, where you might not be able to leave permanent sets, or leave a ladder stand set up somewhere. I think this is the perfect solution to that. So I know a lot of guys have been doing it for a lot of years, and I can see why. I'm a huge believer in this, and I'm taking the Tethrd Mantis with me to Texas next week. So I'm going to have more experience with it and more videos to put out, hopefully. Hopefully I'll have some success that I can share with y'all. But yeah. So that's pretty much the saddle in a nutshell. And thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.